Hello, and welcome to another episode of Evening Crypto with your boy, your host, Real Shaw 256. Tonight, we want to talk about a couple of things. If you were paying attention, if you were watching these videos, you know that we were very bullish on the price action coming up for today. Everything seemed to be looking like things were turning around, like we were about to embark on a turnaround, and we actually did. We woke up today to the price action, Bitcoin's price action, to taking a few ticks higher into the $9,600, ultimately $9,700 earlier today. And so hopefully you were paying attention. Hopefully you guys were tuning in because we were, talking about that particular move last night. So tonight, what we want to do is a little bit different. We want to incorporate a little bit of a stock or equities market talk. We're going to talk about Casper, the boxed online retailer that sends you these fold-out mattresses. The reason we're talking to them, why they're relevant tonight, is because of a couple of things. First off, they are launching their ICO here. I believe they start trading tomorrow. If my sources are correct, they will start publicly trading tomorrow. They did go through an IPO, but there's been some talk about with their particular IPO. So we'll get into that, and then why that is relevant to our evening crypto cast. There are some similarities that I would like to kind of bring up to you guys and get your opinion on that as well. So let's actually get onto the nitty gritty of this of tonight's cast. Let's start off with doing a quick recap of the market. We're currently at 270 billion, a big uptake from last night. We were at around 238 billion. I believe that is correct. And also, we were in the low $100 billion for 24-hour volume. We're taking quite a bit high above that, currently at 136. And Bitcoin dominance just keeps going down, which is pretty interesting. Let's actually start it off there. Let's just look at Bitcoin dominance and see what is going on there. In agreement over here with TradingView. Letting us know that things are looking like the Bitcoin dominance chart just keeps ticking down, and so that obviously means that altcoins are still benefiting from this sort of price action and this sort of movement within the money movement within the crypto sphere. All right, so we'll have to stay put and see what happens. Right, again, it's that pendulum swinging. It's currently still swinging with the altcoins in the market. So let's get into the Casper ICO or IPO. My mistake. So a few things to talk about here with the Casper IPO. It was originally going to be, the price was originally going to be set at around $19 per share. After some major revisions of the launch, they decided to actually take the Jesus, we don't want that. Sorry about that. So Casper decided to take the price down and take the whole evaluation down quite a bit, and so the price is now set in between $12 to $13. Right? Why am I talking about this? So there's a couple of similarities with this to the cryptosphere. So number one is, why would somebody launch why would a mattress company launch an IPO? I thought that this is the funniest thing, and the only thing I could sort of relate it to is the ICO craze, right? When 2017 and later part of 2016, but mainly during 2017, when the full bull market was at its highest, right? We did see Bitcoin going from $1,000 all the way to $20,000. And also we did see things like, XRP going from 2 cents all the way up to $3.50 30 cents, something like that. We saw a lot of altcoins. I mean, you name it. You could throw a dart blindly at a board and get 100x on XYZ coin, right? And the latest ICO. So the similarity here is, back then ICOs were taking advantage of the huge rally, of the huge bull market within the crypto market. Same thing is going on here. I don't see why a mattress company in the sleeping technology world, if you will, that's what they're calling it. I don't see a reason for a company like this to launch, but I do think they want to take advantage of this rally, of this huge bull market that we're seeing within stocks and equities. And it goes to show that timing is everything, right? Timing is definitely everything when something like this is about to hit the market. You definitely want to jump and ride the wave as the wave is high and strong, and profit from it. I think that's what they're trying to do. But beware, because again, they've already taken the price down from $12 to $13 per share. That is where they are going to start. And we do have, some examples that we can look at in traditional markets, such as, one of these latest. One of the latest ones is, Uber. What happened? They initially went up, but then, look at how drastically they went down. Let's look at Lyft. Lyft is another one that started pretty high, but then just completely plummeted right in price, just crashed completely. So I do anticipate something like this to happen to this new ICO with Casper. I think initially it will start at 12, $13, but I do think we might see a bit of an uptake. But there's just a lot of bad faith around the IPO. So I don't think that this is going to be particularly anything that you will be able to really profit from, or think of it at 10x or anything like that initially. Although a lot of these ICOs, like we saw Uber actually, from the launch having a nice little uptake up until what was the high, 47.10 or something, but then went all the way down to 25.42. So again, be aware. This is the sort of thing that you probably don't want to go into. Not that you guys, we're this is a crypto channel, so I mean, not that you guys would be interested in that, but I was very, very curious. But again, the reason why we're talking about it is because there's quite a bit of similarities there, right? So here's the other connection that I've made so far with Casper. And if we look at Casper, they're listed under the New York Stock Exchange, but obviously they haven't started trading, right? So that's going to happen. Apparently that's going to happen tomorrow. So the other similarity is, how does a company like this go from, in 5 years from, a startup company to now a publicly traded company as of tomorrow? Ow, right? So basically, if you want to buy a Casper mattress, you would have to go online and do your research online. You can't go to a store. You can't lay in it first. They do offer sort of a 100-day money satisfaction guarantee type thing where you can send it back and get your money back. Fine. But other than that, I mean, can you think of other generations that would do this? I can't see a traditionalist or maybe a Gen Xer like myself not laying in a mattress prior to buying it. I can't see myself making that decision. In fact, I knew of Casper when I bought my last mattress. However, I decided not to buy a Casper because I just didn't know. I was too afraid of the unknown. I didn't know how the mattress was going to feel, if it was going to suit my needs, blah, 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 blah. So I went and did what any other Gen X or baby boomer or traditionalist would have done, is go to the store, lay in it, and find the one that feels the best, to your body, whatever. So there is a paradigm shift, and this, Casper is an example of that. They're exemplifying the paradigm shift that's been going on. What I mean by this is, you have a new generation of buyers, right? And this is what these guys are focusing on, the future. These guys are focusing on the now and the future. I say that because what is happening is now you've got millennials and what are they, Generation Y now, that are coming into the sort of the decision making or buying ability spectrum. And these guys, both millennials and Y generations, these guys are born with technology in their hands. They're buying stuff online mainly. They don't like going to the store. They don't like really interacting with salespeople. So they buy stuff online. And to take it a step further, now you have, what sort of information are they relying on? Well, they're going online. They're reading evaluations by other people. So they're reading ratings, that have been posted and written by other people who have experienced, the purchase, the ownership of this product, and that is how they're building their own opinion as to as to whether they're going to buy Casper or maybe go to a retail store. And what do? Well, according to these sources, Casper, is valued at somewhere around $700 million, right? A $700 million startup now, is going public because they're targeting this new market where these buyers are making their buying decisions based on somebody else's opinion, which is a trustless opinion, right? Because you're going online and you're reading all of these different postings, right? All of these different opinions on the product you are evaluating, right? And these ratings are, helping you build consensus as to whether this is something that you want to invest your money in or not, right? So through that consensus, through that sort of pseudo decentralized opinion, right? Because you've got individual independent opinions coming from all over the world, or maybe all over the United States or North America or what have you. All of these people are forming sort of a consensus on the quality, on the reputation of the product, right? So this is very, very important to me. When I started thinking about this is huge to me, right? I think the best thing that Casper has done is actually tailor to this new client and actually identifying how this new client is or how this new demographic is making their purchasing decisions, which is through word of mouth in a way, right? I mean, they market to millennials obviously to get their attention and get them to invest in their product, but they're targeting the millennial population and the population after that. Well, what is population Y going to do? Well, they're probably going to take a lot of influence from millennials, right? And they're going to take a lot of those same habits along with them until something better comes along. And then, from Y to whatever generation is next, that will transpire through, right? All right. So trying to make this sort of short here. What I'm talking about here, the main point is there's a lot of similarities in how millennials are starting to form buying habits, investment habits, and it is through that decentralized, mutual consensus, right? So my thing was, wait, and we know that the cryptosphere is made up of a lot of millennials. A lot of millennials believe in this technology, believe in the monetary doctrine that Bitcoin offers, but not everybody knows about it. Not all the millennials understand the technology, and certainly same thing goes for Generation Y. So when I said, can you imagine if all millennials understood this? Because they know what this is. They see the value in, number one, consensus. Number two, trusting other people who have no skin in the game, and trusting their opinion and their experience, right? That's how they're forming their own experience. So can you imagine if all millennials and all Gen X, Gen Ys understood the concept of Bitcoin and its monetary proposition. Can you imagine? And that just, that just blew my mind. I don't know if you guys are, or hopefully I'm getting the message across and you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say here. But that just blew my mind. If all millennials understood that same concepts apply, right? This is a decentralized public ledger made up of non-interested, trustless parties, and it's something that, it's digital, but at the same time it's tangible, right? So this is, to wrap up, this is sort of the beginning to me. The afterthought was, okay, we are just starting out. This is just the beginning of it all, right? We have so much ahead of us when it comes to adoption, when it comes to bringing more folks into, more millennials into this, into the crypto sphere, into Bitcoin mainly. There is just, forget about the smart contracts, forget about the dApps. That's all very technical stuff that is further out, my opinion, way further out as far as adoption goes. Yeah, you might have, legal systems adopting smart contracts, but that is an idea that is way too soon, way too early. I think there's a longer road ahead when it comes to dApps and smart contracts adoption, right? So I'll leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know I went on sort of a long tangent there, but let me know. I really appreciate you guys' opinion on this. Let me know what you guys think. And if there is some similarities, I don't know. I thought I saw a huge opportunity or similarity in the type of opportunity that this IPO is sort of trying to take advantage of. All right, so let's go into the traditional, things that you guys come here for, which is hopefully is the charts. But first, I want to remind you, you guys can interact with me on my Twitter page at the Real Shot 256. We'd love to have you guys there. Definitely give me a shout out. Let me know that you guys are following there. All right, so let's get into the technical analysis part of this. We'll start with XRP. Look at XRP, and this is from last night, guys. This is all from last night. We were talking about this particular move. This was kind of sort of happening here. We were showing how this resembled another bull flag, and it ended up playing out. And we do see here that Ripple actually, with some continuation, some momentum, some tremendous momentum to the upside here with Ripple. So probably the player of the last couple of days, something to be paying attention to again. And we know that XRP, it is built within their schedule to sell a lot of their extra coins into the market, and still, look at this beautiful run that we're seeing here with an XRP. Where do we stop? I don't think we're going to stop here. Actually, I do think I've set a target for you guys last night, and I see. I think this is sort of the next big target, right? Which is 29 cents. Historically, again, has been a huge target for Ripple. Always has been, always will be, until we set some higher highs, and we don't, to the point where $1 would be a very low point in XRP's price action. So, but currently this will be, I think this, I don't think we're done just yet with this move, especially because XRP has sort of been leading lately in the market and kind of influencing other altcoins to move along with it. Not all altcoins, but certainly there were a few that we talked about last night. If you guys want to go back and watch last night's video, click on this link here right above on your screen, and you guys can watch last night's video. And as we were talking about, the bullish sentiment, the bullish buildup that we were seeing last night on XRP and other coins, right? So we called several moves on this market. Okay, so wrap up with XRP. Yeah, I think we're going to, this doesn't look to be over. I still see pretty nice momentum here, pretty strong resilience here within XRP to finish the move at least to 29 cents. So that's where I would be de-risking off of my position. I would stop longing it at that point if you guys are already longing it. All right, so let's wrap up with XRP. Let's go to Link. Link is also one of those that has been responding pretty well. I do think it's got some work to do here. I do like, and there's something positive to be said here within this particular move. Looked like a breakout, but actually ended up being a fake out. This looks like a broadening descending wedge. Definitely also has the characteristics of a bull flag. So I do think there is continuation, especially if Bitcoin does continue to move upwards, which I do think is going to happen. BNB, same kind of thing. BNB, also one of those strong players today. We talked about this yesterday. This was the line that I set for us last night as the expectation, or to call a breakout above it. That was the line here. That was our resistance point here. That was going to play a key role in whether BNB actually rejected or actually played out, and it actually turned out that it broke out into continuation of this move here. So pretty good on that. We did pretty good on that. Litecoin. So Litecoin again finding support right here. And it's actually in the process of breaking out. This is one that has been kind of lagging behind the rest of the altcoins, but nonetheless, I was expecting Litecoin to actually have a response. Sooner or later that was going to happen. I don't think that Litecoin was going to remain silent throughout this whole price action here. So it's actually I am interested in looking at a longer chart here within the daily with Litecoin. And actually get rid of these guys. Massive descending bear wedge or ascending bear wedge. All right, so finding support here, having a nice bounce on the daily as well. Again, continuation. So this is looking very bullish. I do think we're probably going to find some heavy resistance right around this point here, right around this point at 78.63, 78.50, if you will. I do think we're going to run into some heavy resistance there. This is again looking at the daily from a shorter time period. Does that also make sense? I do think it also makes sense. Yes. So there's some nice confluence there. Like to always see that when we're calling these targets. All right. So Litecoin 278, that would be a good target there for you guys to look at. Let's look at Ethereum, because Ethereum is also one of those that has been leading the market lately, especially as the last couple of days. I mean, look at this beautiful just rising price action here. I mean, just amazing. Wow. I mean, look at this, beautiful. And we were talking about this again last night. If you guys want to look at that video, go back and watch it. We're talking about this possible breakout. So I do think this has gone past our initial thoughts with Ethereum. I don't think I gave you guys a target last night, but this is past where I thought we were going to end up. It is actually hitting some really strong resistance here. Look at this big pivot low here, big massive pivot low here. This is definitely a good point to start taking some profits. Good point to start taking profits. All right, let's look at a daily and see what the daily is saying. Continuation on the daily. Gosh, you guys, this is very strong move. Again, some nice confluence there with this target. Let's see where this daily ends up. This does not, at this very moment in time, it does not look like reversal here. This is not your typical reversal formation here within these two candles. But it's too soon to call it, right? Because this is almost a brand new daily candle. So it's probably perhaps too soon to call a reversal on Ethereum. So we might actually get some continuation, especially if we do get above this pivot here, because again, it has served as massive resistance in the past or support. So let's see how it reacts from here. But again, I don't think this move is so far. It is not signaling of a reversal. All right, let's get into the big guy. Talk some Bitcoin now. Same thing with Bitcoin. There is not a sign of reversal yet. This was the box that we were talking about as the CME representative of the CME gap, and I do want to bring this up because, you know, is this a gap fill? You know, is this wick down here? There's overlap from this wick and this wick. There, this is the daily. If we look at the 4 hour, we might be able to see it a little better. You know, there's some overlapping here. I mean, geez, it's you know, is it a fill? Is it an official fill? I mean, it kind of looks like, you know, it'll have to suffice for now because, I mean, it's as close as you can get, right, to a gap fill, just as close as. I mean, obviously, if we go to an hourly, we might find that we did get a close. Yeah, I mean, again, it's as close as you're going to get to a gap fill, especially from the lower time frames, right? So, is that a gap fill? You know, it'll have to suffice, right? We'll just have to deal with it. We'll just have to take it for now, unless something else happens. But you know, for now, I think we can definitely move on and say that, all right, you know, good enough is good enough, right? It's all we can get. It's all we're going to get. So let's just be done with it and move on. The market will prove us wrong if we're wrong on that. All right, so gap fill done. Moving on. As we were saying, we wanted to have that gap fill sooner rather than later, because again, if we move up, then that means eventually we would have to come back down to under 10K and fill this gap, which would not be a good thing because again, a lot of folks get scared and you know we start seeing a massive sell-off. So don't want that. All right, so now we're looking at a 4 hour. 4 hour stoked. We did get a bear cross on stochastic right here. We can still defend this area though and stay within the bullish, just like we did back here. It doesn't mean that this run is over. Everything's still looking pretty bullish in my eyes. I'm still thinking that this rally can continue. Again, as we saw back here, right? We saw a nice retest of the neutral zone, getting actually rejecting off of that or bouncing actually off of that and coming back up, retesting the neutral zone and coming back up. So, you know, some nice retest there and some nice responses there. I do think, again, this doesn't look like we're, you know, even on the 4 hour, from a 4 hour perspective, it doesn't look like there is any sort of indication that we are going to reverse the trend. All right, let's actually bring up our some of our EMAs here. I do want to change some of these out. Yep. Let's see. Let's get rid of this guy. And I think that's all. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, just a very bullish posture here, above every major and simple moving average here. It's what we like to see on a run like this. Let's actually look at a daily to see how things are looking from that perspective. Way above the 100, which was the last line of bearish defense. Now, obviously, opening and closing massive candles way above the 100, or you know, there's a gap in between here that's very considerable, to where there's going to be little resistance aside from these previous pivots on the way up that we have plotted for you guys on the way up from past videos. Again, this is the target, right? This is where I'm looking to, you know, once we hit it, let's see how Bitcoin reacts. Do we reject? Probably will. We'll probably reject, but if we start actually building a base here above 9,800, then things should start to yet again take another bullish posture again above the 382, and that would mean that we're probably going to go and test 10.3. All right, so this is looking like it's going to play out. This is definitely, like, again, I do want to see, and this is a daily, right? This is, look at the stochastic. Nice little reaction off of this here, and actually getting back into the bullish area here. All right, so momentum still pointing upwards for the daily candle here on Bitcoin, especially after today's move. So there is definitely, this is definitely in the cards. 98, 9,900, maybe 10 grand by the end of the week, I think is definitely in the cards. Let me know what you guys think. See if I want to know if you guys agree with me or if you're seeing something different there. All right, so that is definitely in the cards now. Let's actually clean this up a little bit and take a look at just the EMAs and SMAs here. So yeah, absolutely. Again, we did get the golden cross on the daily, which is very, very important. And we do see the positive correlation of the positive reaction here so far, right? So again, I do expect a continuation. I do have a nice trade in there that I am holding on to. I am longing it, and I will continue until I do see a definite reversal there. All right. Okay. Let's get to the bottom of the list here. ADA up against the 377 here, which will be key on the daily. If we can get above that, well, guess what? It's going to be smooth sailing for ADA, which, you know, I do love this, right? There's the 377 coming in confluence with this massive pivot low here. So, you know, by just looking at this that this is very, very key resistance here. If we can get above it again, it's going to be smooth sailing for Cardano here. At least, I want to say to about this point here, right around here, 0.07, right? It's still a good trade here to be made. About 24% left. Gosh. And just talk about massive, massive move. Look what else is coming in here on the daily Cardano. That again, that bull cross or golden cross, 55 and the 200. That's also coming in there for Cardano. So you might want to keep your eyes on it. XLM. XLM is doing some work against the 200. Finding support now, turning that resistance into support. That's what you'd like to see. Maybe continuation here too about this pivot here. Right around here. Actually, yeah, perfect. Makes perfect sense. This pivot high, this pivot high, this pivot high. We tried it, or XLM has tried 3 times and has failed on every attempt. Had a really nasty drop after the 3rd attempt. So now it looks like we want to try a 4th time. See if the 4th time is a charm. And then if we do, this will be the 377 will be the next area of resistance here at 0.093. All right, again, that's from a daily perspective. The RSI is looking pretty exhausted there. But again, as long as we defend the bullish control zone, then we're going to be okay. And I do think there is going to be continuation. And again, look at the volume. Look at this buying volume here. It's looking pretty good. That's what you'd like to see. VET, VChain. Yeah, like it. On the daily. Getting above opening and closing some daily candles above the 377 is key. We are going to run into some heavy resistance right around this level here at 0.007178. All right, especially if markets continue to move, we are volume is above the exponential. Again, something you want to see. EOS, you know, again, we talked about this last night. We're talking about how this looked very bullish, painting a bull flag here, and it actually ended up playing out. So a lot of good trades that we talked about last night. A lot of good trades. Waves, BTC, dead. Nothing to talk about there. Tezos, again, one of those that we talked about last night. We go back to the lower time frames. You know, we were talking about this last night, how this resembled a bull flag, how this also resembled a bull flag, and boom. Now, there we go. You know, definitely having a nice little breakout there. Is it done? I don't think it's done. We'll see what happens here in the next few hours. But you know, there's still nothing signaling here that it's done, right? So if we are in the right, expect continuation in the next few days. This is also a really good one that we called last night. Look at that. Based on this formation here, this was the measured move, and we're almost done with that move up to 0.02139, right? That was the measured move. That was our call last night, and look, we're almost about done with it. This is TRX Tron, so doing pretty good. Again, I was talking about how this resembles more of a traditional market type of consolidation and bull flag, and it actually did play out. What is Stochastic saying? Stochastic is having a nice little cross, but it's also already flattening out here. So we could find continuation at least to our target area, 0.02141. That is our target. We'll reassess if we do hit it or we get above it and start consolidating above it. We'll have to reconsider from there. All right, guys. So that is all I had for you tonight. I appreciate. Oh, the SPY actually retesting this. So here's a real quick take on this. It does look like it's going to break out tomorrow. This looks like a breakout, certainly in the making, as we have seen also, in recent past history. Look at this here. Major area of resistance, a nice huge breakout. Same thing again. Area of resistance here. And breakout. So, I say this with all certainty because, again, this has been the trend. We're in a bull market here within traditional stocks and equities. We're in a bull market, right? And you have to follow the trend. And here's another area where things got pretty interesting. So, again, I say it with all certainty. I do think we're if we come back and retest this bottom, that's still okay because look at what we've seen here. Retest bottom, retest fail until we broke out, right? Even if we come back and retest this bottom here, it's still okay. Eventually, I do think but I am gonna maybe perhaps jump on a limb here and say that we are going to break out. This looks like very breakout-ish formation, and again, you have to follow and be on the side of the trend, and you'll be just fine. And I do think, again, I'm calling this a breakout for tomorrow or the next couple of days. I do think we're going to break out and find higher highs or new highs again, as we do, as we do sit at 33.34 as of the close of the market earlier this evening. All right, guys, that is all I have. Truly, honestly, a pleasure having you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't not hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do so now. Do me a favor and hit the bell notification as well so that you get these notifications whenever I put out new content. I hope you got something in exchange for your time here tonight. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you guys on the next one.